Social media does not reward the most talented women. It rewards the women willing to be seen, recognized, and the one who just claims her space the most. But this does require actually ditching that fear of being seen. And that fear happens even though you're already posting, even though you already have the clients. But there's just something preventing you from actually letting go fully of that fear so that there's nothing holding you back. The more visible that you become, the more your energy becomes familiar, the easier it is for clients to say yes to you, the more people become obsessed with you and your business, and the bigger and the larger amount people are willing to invest in you. And so as someone who has been posting videos since high school, who has been through so many of the stages where I had to deal with people telling me I was cringe, who would even watch that, and actually making personal branding my career, I fear I am in the right place to help you out on this. Welcome back to the podcast. I am your host, Malika, and I am so glad that you are tuning in this week. Now, the fear of being seen is something that I see over and over again with women in my space, with clients, and even people who are actually posting. And if there was a magic pill to literally completely getting rid of the fear of being seen, that it's on a bigger scale, or that it's just simply that fear in general, that would be this episode for you. As you can tell, I already have my matcha. I'm ready to go and chat with you. And so if you don't have your matcha, go grab it, go on your hot girl walk, and let's jump in. Being seen essentially is being able to truly take up space unapologetically and holding a spotlight on yourself with such certainty and confidence. The level in which you are able to be seen is going to directly affect the level of recognition that you and your business will get. Now, when I first started posting content, I was entering high school. Like, I was literally entering high school. I was freshly 13. And trust me, I cannot even count on my hands the number of times that I got told how my content was cringe, how I was cringe. And a so-called friend of mine made a roast video about me, about my content, for the whole entire school to watch on YouTube. And of course they did, because that was like drama, you know? People weren't reacting because I was doing something wrong or that my content was necessarily bad. They were reacting because I was doing something that they didn't have the courage to do. Now, I gave myself that permission, and yet they didn't feel like they could have that permission. And when you can truly give yourself that permission, you don't just sound more like yourself, but your content becomes a lot more unique and stands out a lot more from everybody else doing the same thing, and that filter out people. And to that, I always say there's always the flip side. I wasn't simply getting the comment of cringe, whatever, but I would walk into bathrooms and girls would come up to me and they would tell me how much they love my content, how much they watch my stuff. For my birthday, a group of my friends got together, 20 of them, around 20 of them, to all pitch in into buying me my first ever ring light to film with. Truly meant a lot, considering that everyone in high school were all broke and they didn't really have the money for that. But there are two things to that, right? The people that are meant to walk you forward will always invest in your visibility and invest in you, not question it. And you cannot have and create obsession without repellent. They go together. They are the same coin. Now, the next thing that I'm going to bring up is the blue hair analogy. Now, this is something that I came up for my clients. One time, one of my clients asked me, what if someone thinks that I'm a scammer and leaves a comment? This is not the first client who asked me something like this. You know, what if a client says something bad about me online and I get canceled? What if this person leaves this comment and then other people believe them or whatever or whatnot, right? And this is always my response to these kind of questions. If someone commented that they hate your blue hair, but your hair is clearly dark brown, how would you react? How would this comment make you feel, right? Would you feel insulted? Would you question what you're doing wrong within your business? Would you rethink entirely if your content is good enough? Or would you simply look at that comment and see how inaccurate it is? The second part of this is truly that if no one questions you, it's because you are not positioned high enough or visible enough to even be worth questioning. Now, this I feel helps kind of graze the ego a little bit. The ego always try to protect us. You know, it's like, okay, like if you're here, you're safe, right? But when you switch it around, you're like, well, if no one questions you, it's because you're just not visible enough and no one sees you and you're not even worth questioning. You're kind of like, oh, I want to be worth questioning. That is the blue hair analogy that I love bringing up, because you only ever feel threatened by something that someone says or a comment when you are still asking the world or future client to validate your worth. So what this truly comes down to is to be super solid and secure in your CEO energy and essentially creator energy. There are essentially 3 parts to this. Create a proof bank that you can always come back to. Okay, so these can be accomplishments, these can be things that like you have done, things that you went out of your way to do, that you stretched out of your comfort zone, that just validate how good you are at what you do. That it's things that your clients said about you. Most of the time we kind of forget, you know, kind of like our accomplishments because they become just this thing that we don't think about anymore. And so having that like proof of bank that you can always come back to, and you can just read like, okay, I'm getting in this like shaky energy. Let me go through my notes app and I have all of these things that reminds me of how iconic I actually am and how good of a creator I actually am without needing this outside validation. You're showing up with this different kind of energy as well. And now this is the thing about looking for the outside world to validate your content first, or your future clients to validate you or your business first, is that you, when this happens, is essentially being in taking energy. Like you are taking energy from other people. But why do your clients come to you? Why do people watch content? They want to receive energy. They don't want you to take it from them. And so energetically, you shift the table around and you become the thing that people chase because they want to gain something from this. Number 2 is having a secure sense of identity behind your personal brand comes with clarity. Having the more clarity that you can have for this, the more you will feel grounded, right? When we're on shaky ground, most of the time it's because things are not just set out. They're not like in front of us for us to actually see how it is. Okay, like this is what my personal brand is about. This is how I create my content. This is who it's for. This is who it's not for. This is the identity in which I'm stepping in and that I am claiming, and I am comfortable doing that, and I'm happy doing that, and I am proud to do that and show that to the world. That is when you have a secure sense of identity behind your personal brand, and that is when the fear of being seen no longer bothers you, because you know exactly what you're putting forward. You are secure into this identity that you are showing the world, essentially. The third element is my favorite and the most important, the cost of staying unseen, that is unseen completely or unseen on a bigger scale, it needs to be bigger than the cost of being seen. Because right now what's happening is mainly that either the cost is kind of equal or one is higher than the other one. Being unseen on a big scale, it needs to cost you more. It shrinks your confidence. It shrinks your identity. It shrinks your opportunities. That is when you become way more comfortable, way faster to be fully seen, and you finally stop fighting yourself. You finally stop having this invisible string kind of hold you back when you know you could be doing more, when you know you could be seen on a bigger scale, when you know you crave more visibility on your business or your content or all of these things. Your personal brand is your mirror. I want you to treat your personal brand as a mirror because it reflects how much of yourself you are willing to accept. And this is why many people that are super talented go unnoticed, because it is not about the algorithm. It is about the fear of being too much or claiming that you are too good. Now, essentially, when you claim something, when you claim, how talented you are, how good you are, how good your service is, how worth it you are, you have to truly be so confident in that. As a highly ambitious woman that is always going for more, how much of your greatness actually scares you? How much of your greatness you are leaving on the table that you were not claiming and that you are letting on the table for someone else to claim who has half of your talent? You want a stronger sense of authority within your field. And so the more that you are able to claim your space and yourself is exactly what will make you seen on a bigger scale. But once you can fully embrace that and you understand that being too much is a strength and being too good is a strength, and you stop hiding away or you stop not wanting to claim it because maybe someone out there in the 4 billion people, there's someone out there that is better than me. It's like someone else that has half of your stuff is claiming to be 10 times better than you. Directly attached to also how you see yourself, how you are able to claim your identity, how you are able to claim your talent, which will inevitably be reflected in your personal brand, in your content. And that is when you are no longer fighting for visibility. You just become visible on a much larger scale. I have to say that content creation is kind of like space claiming, right? You are claiming a piece of space within your field. Every piece of content is kind of you claiming that space. You're like, okay, I'm claiming this space in this field every single time that you're posting a piece of content. And so when you tiptoe around being seen, you're kind of leaving space that is unclaimed. You're leaving someone else to become the authority. You're leaving someone else to collect the status, the money, the loyalty, all of these things that you actually want and that you actually know you deserve to have as well. Of course, you gotta ditch the safety net. You gotta ditch the safety net that makes you feel good, that makes you feel so comfortable to the type of content that you're posting, that you're either always posting voiceover, that you're never talking to the camera. I know this is a big one. It requires just ditching the safety net and the vanilla content that is so digestible, that blends in with everybody else's content, right? And so this, first of all, is about finally seeing repelling as a good thing instead of a bad thing, and being rejected as a good thing as well. Hear me when I say this. Repelling is a sign of good positioning. When you cannot repel anyone with your content, with your business, with your brand, with your personality, with your presence, you also don't get the other flip side of it, which is people becoming obsessed, having an audience that is so obsessed with everything that you come out with or everything that you have to offer, like your ride or die clients. And rejection is actually the proof that you are visible, right? If you are not getting rejected by some people, by some clients, by some people who are like, nope, I hate that kind of content, then you are not visible enough. Your content is too safe. It's too vanilla. It's too for everyone. And that doesn't get noticed. I always saw it as, wow, like these people care enough to comment and say something and say their opinion or say like this insult. And I don't see it as a bad thing because of the fact that when I personally dislike something, I don't even engage. I don't even do anything, right? And so in order for that to happen, you have to be very polarizing. If you got this far into the episode, I will let you into a little secret into how exactly you can beat the fear of being seen for good, okay? And the secret is that the more grace you can give yourself, the easier it will be. Now, why I say grace, okay? It is because sometimes we feel like there's this pressure, right? When you are putting yourself out there, or like everything has to be perfect, everything, no mistake or no nothing, or like, oh my God, it's gonna be out there forever, right? And so it's about having the grace that no matter what, you are always being true to yourself. You're always being true to your vision, and that it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be you. And being polarizing is a skill, and this is a thing that will take your content further and that will stop getting you unnoticed all the time. It just requires you looking at yourself and being like, yeah, like that's good enough. Like I love that. I actually love that. And being okay that you will repel people, being okay that you will also get people obsessed. You get to claim that you are so fucking good, so talented. The more you do so, the bigger your visibility will grow, and the more your brand will be recognized, respected, followed, and invested in. When more people get to see you, your brand gains status, and that status becomes your currency. Let me know in the comments if you found that this episode was helpful, and if you have 5 minutes to spare, I would love if you could leave a review on the podcast. It helps so much reach more like-minded women and grow our amazing community that we have. And as always, if you love this episode, make sure to share it to a friend that would absolutely eat this up, and I will meet you here next week. Thanks so much for tuning in, and don't forget to leave your 5-star rate and review on the podcast. I love to know what you guys think of the episodes, and I will meet you here next week.